Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. I want to introduce you tonight to Shai Plonski, who is the founder of Still Light Center School of Thai Massage. Not because of Thai massage, though we may chat a little bit about that, but because he recently posted on social media about just an unbelievable, incredible story where he was taken advantage of big time and lost his life savings. And he's got a warning for all of us, a really important warning for all of us to be careful about social media, about people we meet online, about unbelievable stories. And so I thought it would be really good to check in with them. Shai has taught over 10,000 students worldwide, 10,000. So he's met a lot of people, and he's a 4-time Amazon bestseller in a career that he started 20 years ago in 2002. Recently, as I mentioned, he lost the majority of his life savings in an online dating scam called the pig butchering scam. The pig butchering scam. He's gone public with his story, writing and making videos to share what happened and what he's been doing to recover and rebuild. Shai, thank you so much for coming and wanting and being willing to speak publicly about this. Tell me a little bit about what happened. How did you actually meet this person?
Sure. Thanks, Brian. Thank you for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk and share my story. I met this person right around the holidays at Christmas on Facebook. Facebook, for those of you who don't know, has an online dating, like a free online dating portal or portion of their offering, which anyone can get onto online. And I guess that's kind of one of those things that because anyone can get onto it online, that means there's not a lot of barriers for who can get onto it. And I met this woman, quote unquote woman, I should say, who seemed like a really interesting woman. I mean, she presented herself as a really accomplished businesswoman, and her pictures were both like, beautiful and very flowery and adventurous, but also very down to earth as well. And it was the down to earth part of her pictures, like in just like a big baggy Harvard sweatshirt, that actually made me think, oh, this seems like someone maybe I could connect with, because I'm a pretty down to earth person. As you mentioned, I teach Thai yoga massage. I'm very into healing and body work and yoga and meditation. And the fact that it seemed like this person had this side to her made me, just put out a like. And then she put out a like to me, and we started, sending messages back and forth to each other. And she was Chinese, and I just was really taken by some of the poetic language that she used when talking about herself. And she, but she did say that for her, she preferred to get to know people and she would prefer to get to know me through writing, because that's how she gets to see the window into a person's soul. So that's how she described it. And it's an interesting thing where I say, like, on the one hand, this person and people who do this scam are really, really good at what they do. And they are very, they have taken it to the next level as far as understanding the psychology of people. It's not just like, hey, I'm in Kenya and you won, some kind of lottery, or we want to share the royal kingdom, or, it's like these things are so easy to spot as a scam. So she really knew what she was doing as
You
far as
had you
building
had no
trust.
sense, obviously, that it was a scam. You thought this was a real person you were connecting with.
Yeah, absolutely. And because it's a long play, as I would say. Like, she wasn't interested in talking about money at all. We were just getting to know each other and sending messages and sending, you know, things that are in our heart or things that are of interest to us, basically. And my part in it is that, I had actually, during the pandemic, I had a 2-year long distance relationship. And it's not like I didn't meet that person in person. I did, but we did spend a lot of our time, because of the pandemic, on WhatsApp, sending a lot of messages and really getting to know each other. So I was almost softened up as that being a viable way to get to know someone, because I'd spent and really succeeded and really fell in love with someone, and she fell in love with me, and we had a really beautiful relationship for over 2 years. uh, a lot of it through writing. So when she said that she was interested in getting to know me through writing, I was like, okay, I'll play along at least for a little while. I'm also a writer. You know, you mentioned I'm a four-time Amazon bestseller. So I like writing and I like hearing what someone else had to say. So that's kind of how it all started.
How did it turn into a scam? How does the scam work?
So the way the scam worked, well, again, like I said, like and I've read about this in other contexts where people who are doing the scam will literally take months, maybe even over a year to build up that relationship and build up that trust before it pivots to a business, investment opportunity or something like that. And in my case, though, I so she presented herself in just getting to know each other as a Harvard educated businesswoman, a self made woman, someone who just had worked really hard to become really accomplished in short term real estate. And she was the head with other partners in a real estate company. And then in the pictures that she was sending back and forth, one picture was also with her business mentor, who, and I looked him up, was a billionaire kind of hedge fund investor. So she also, had shared that she's a really great investor. And I just kind of casually said it in our banter going back and forth. Oh, maybe one day you can help me to become a better investor, because it was something that I was genuinely interested in becoming better at. I had, my life savings, I had lost my savings once before and had been building it up and in a new country and looking for new ways to figure it out. I'd actually purchased an online course, which was a solid course that was teaching me some tips on investing, but I hadn't gotten to it yet. It was one of those things I was actually looking forward to during the holidays. And it was just the timing of meeting her. And I said that to her. And then again, part of what's so smart about how they do it, she didn't right away jump at that opportunity. She basically said, okay, maybe one day. And then it was a few days later that she came back to it and basically said, well, if you are interested in learning about an opportunity, I have this opportunity that's going on right now in the marketplace, in the cryptocurrency marketplace. And because of, and this is how she was saying it, because of the volatility in the marketplace, this was a really great opportunity to do these short-term crypto investments. And am I interested? And I actually had a bit of experience. I had already money in an exchange from previous experiences, and actually I had lost money in the crypto in that exchange. So money was just sitting there because I didn't want to take it out and lose my capital and just kind of waiting for the market to go back up. So it was just a bit of money that was sitting there. And I said, okay, let's see what this is about. And essentially, the way that it's set up is that they have their own, and I would say quote unquote crypto exchange, where they tell you that they want you to open up an account there, which she'll show you how to do. And then you would need to transfer some money into there, because that's where the technology exists to do this kind of short-term trading. It's not just like put your money in Bitcoin and wait for the investment to grow. The short-term investments are, it's like, in the stock market where you have like buying long, selling short, like day trading, and you literally are investing money for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then you get a return. So it was on this other exchange that that technology existed. So it was to set up an account there and then transfer some money into that account. And
So
so
you set up the account and you actually transferred the money.
So I had set up that account with her help. And although, it's not like she knew my password or anything like that, she was just there in the background in case I had any questions. It was pretty simple, and entering the prompts and putting in a password and whatever, sending that information that you have to set up. And then, I did. She knew how much money I had in my crypto account. And she was basically like, I want you to play it safe. I don't want you to lose all your money or anything like that. I want you to just test this out and see if it works for you. So let's just take half of that, which happened to be like $3,500, and let's put it in there and see what happens, So that's basically it. So that was the first thing that I did. I took money out of one crypto account and put it into this other one. And then within an hour, that $3,500, we did like 3 or 4 trades. And each time we did a trade, she would basically tell me exactly how much to put in. Like she said that she had, these nodes, these crypto nodes. And if you know anything about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, it's decentralized and it literally exists on multiple thousands and thousands of computers. So she had a computer that essentially was tapped into the network, and she would, I would say, pretend to say like that she was tapping into it and doing some research to figure out exactly how much to invest and exactly when to do it. And that she would basically tell me how much to invest and that we had this really short window of time. So to do this right now, and then she would tell me if it was either buying long or selling short, the 2 minute amount, so I would have to set up these parameters, press OK, and then you wait literally for 2 minutes. And then after 2 minutes, your investment, every time we did it, it was a success. And I would get like a 10% return on what I had invested. So
every time you made a bet, you made money every time.
Exactly.
Oh, God. We're going to take a break and come back in just 2 minutes and understand how Shai actually found out that it was a scam. Stay with us, everyone. We're going to be back in 2 minutes. An interesting story that we all need to be aware of about scams online. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga Night 60. We're chatting tonight with Shai Plonski. He is a gentleman that was taken advantage of in an online scam, and he was just telling us the story about how these people over a long time, this female supposedly that he met in a dating app over time, really had gained his trust. Shai, please continue with the story. So you were trading in these accounts. You always made money, 10% return, so not outrageous. So she was gaining your trust.
Yeah, exactly. She was gaining my trust, and it was very exciting. It had taken me like so many years to save like little amounts of money at a time and build something up. And I just felt like I had this like gift that was coming my way at the start of 2023. And I mentioned like that first time I started with $3,500, and within an hour it had become like $4,300. And to make $800, that just like that was very, very exciting for me. And I did agree then and decide to take the other half that was already in a crypto account and put it in. And a few days later, essentially we traded again. And that money quickly, again, every time it was like a 10% return. So my, $7,000 became like $10,000 or $11,000 within a few days. And that's where I thought, wow, I believed it. And she had actually, had encouraged me. And before I even put the second amount in, I did want to make sure that I could take money out. And I tested that. I took like a little bit of money out. And she said, even, yeah, go take some money out and reward yourself. And I did. And, I had no issues doing that. So again, I thought, this is really amazing. And this is really real. Even if, I did have some concerns, and it's not like I just bought in. I mean, I did research. I wanted to make sure that, buying long and selling short in the crypto world was a thing. And I looked up the exchange and I didn't see any like red flags about it. So, I had done that kind of research, and then I made sure I could take money out, and I was investing these little amounts. And then it was after that, initial first week of really great returns that I had really the majority of my savings in another account, and I decided to go for it and put more money in, and that money, excuse me, that money was also a success every time.
Was she encouraging you to put that more money in, or do you do it on your own?
I did it really more on my own. She encouraged me, or the way she encouraged me was not very aggressive in any kind of way. It was really not like that. She would basically just tell me that if I have more, then now is the time, because there really is this short-term opportunity in the market. And I believed her, so, that it might be going on for another month or 6 weeks or something like that. And and she was also saying that she was also doing these investments and she was making a lot of money as well. And that we were investing this at the same time. She was putting her money in and I was putting my money in. So I would go off and I would do my thing and basically think to myself, like, do I have the courage to do this? Because I'm a pretty conservative person when it comes to money and definitely when it comes to investing. And, but I basically was just on my own at, trying to sum up and thinking, do I have the courage? Does this feel right? Am I going to do it? And I decided, yes, I would do it. And basically within like 3 weeks, I thought I had made like $80,000, and I was kind of on a cloud nine, and I was like, wow, this is amazing, and then and that's about as far as I went with it.
And so how did you find out that it was a scam?
So I found out it was a scam when I started telling people about it. And, the first person I told about it, actually, he, I was like, I have the craziest dating story for you. And it's just amazing. Like, I've met this woman and the way I'm saying the story, it's almost like as if we were talking about this all the time. And this is also part why and how they do the scam so well, is that truly we were only spending a little bit of time talking about this, even when it was going on. Most of the time we were just talking about our day or talking about life and sharing ideas and philosophy and all these kinds of things. So, anyways, I told this first person about this great dating story where I met this amazing woman and was helping me make all this money and he was excited for me. But then the second people I told, they also were excited, but they were also skeptical and they started doing a different kind of Google search. I was at their house and they were doing a Google search about it. And essentially, that's where they found this term pig butchering. And the pig butchering scam basically described in a certain kind of way. And I realized, like, this is exactly what I was living. I'm like, I can't believe this. Oh my God, this is actually a scam. And it completely wrenched my heart in such a way.
It's interesting.
So,
So, the pig butchering scam, also known as a romance scam, is a long-term fraud that combines investment schemes, romance schemes, and cryptocurrency fraud. It originated, according to Google, in Southeast Asia, and the name originates from the Chinese phrase "shazipon," which means pig butchering. Seems like this is exactly what happened to you. Yeah, a scanner typically
exactly.
creates a fake account, reaches out to potential victims through Tinder or WhatsApp. You want to become the victim's lover or friend through cordial discussions. And the analogy comes from gaining trust in the victim, fattening up the pig, then stealing the money, the butchering.
Yep, that's it. And that's what I was reading. And so instantly, as soon as they said that to me, I'm like, well, I want to take out like all my money from this account. And I tried to make a big withdrawal of the money and it never succeeded. And then that's where it really hit home that this was really a scam and that the account that I thought I was putting money into was I thought it was my own account, but somehow on the back end, they had access to it. And through their own money laundering ways, essentially, they were able to take the money out of what I thought was my account. And, to even further extend the scam, they have a tech support on that exchange. And I sent a message to be like, hey, what's going on? I want my money. And they said that my name was flagged as some kind of security risk. And in order to get my money out, I would need to put another $10,000 in to prove that I was a real person. And then you would get the security deposit back and your money. And I'm just like, well, you got to be kidding me. So, that's where pretty much all contact, broke off with that person. And I had my heart broken and I had my life basically ripped open from this whole experience.
So was the exchange a scam, or was it a real exchange that she was using, or whoever was using, as a vehicle for the scam?
So, to my knowledge, and just like you were reading on the Google site, the exchange is a scam as well. So that whole, it's like they built this short-term, long-term component of trading onto their exchange, and it looks real, but it's not really real. And I think that's the key way that they build up your trust to make you feel like you're getting the money, that you're making money, and then they allow you to take money out to do, a small amount out to make it again feel like you're in control, but in fact, you're just putting more money into what seems is your bank account, but it's not really your bank account. It's someone else's. And yeah, exactly. And I fell for it.
The scammer will ask the victim to download a cryptocurrency investment app. Typically, there are tiers to this app requesting a minimum investment. The scammer will trade with the victim to show them how it works and show how they invest the money. The scammer will want to trade together to earn more profits. They will say that it's safer to trade together to show the victim the platform. Avoid using a platform recommended by an online-only contact. The platform may permit small withdrawals at first. However, as the person invests more money, the online contact may turn the questions or withdrawals over to the platform's customer service team. When the person asks the customer service team to withdraw money, there will be various excuses to prevent the person from getting their money, such as technical issues or the server being down. Pig butchering scams try to get as much money as possible, so the victim may even be told they have to pay large fees or taxes to withdraw money. The site may also say that the account is frozen and the investor will lose money without paying fees. This all happened to you.
This all happened to me just like that. And I found out about it too late.
Why did you decide to go public?
I decided to go public for a few reasons. And I love the question. Thank you for that question. I mean, the first reason is I really didn't want this to happen to anyone else. And not enough people know about it, because I think anyone who is doing online dating and interested in online dating or meeting people online needs to know about this, because as you saw there, it's, and I don't know if it was just in 2022 or since they've been reporting about it, it's like over like billions of dollars have actually been lost this way. So even though it's a thing, clearly it's not getting reported enough. And I thought it was really important to just do my part to tell people about it as much as possible. And at the same time, in so doing, it is also really important, I think, for my own healing, because when this happened, I mean, it's a pain that is so different and so intense that I can't even begin to describe how much it hurt and what it felt like for this to happen to me. And the amount of shame that it brings up as well, and as you mentioned, I am a healer and a teacher and an educator in this world of Thai yoga massage, which is really like a moving meditation in loving kindness and compassion, and then turning that into a massage. And it's a life practice. And the first things that I thought up, if I don't want this to like really destroy me and make me sick, like literally physically sick, I mean, as like the seeds of some kind of disease and illness, not to mention mentally and just how much this was weighing on me. I just didn't want it to break my spirit, and I didn't want it to totally tear me apart. And I thought that, in sharing, there really is strength. And the more that I can share the story with people, then the more it will help me to find the courage and the strength to go on and to rebuild and to feel that kind of love and support that I need and that I still need. And so, having the opportunity then to be here with you and your audience and tell more people about it, I mean, it's really important. And I also, for people that it has happened to, like I said, I mean, any articles you find about it or any stories you find about it are just these objective reports like what you just found out. But I also haven't seen any firsthand accounts, because it's so shaming and it's so hard. And, so if it has happened to people, maybe they feel very alone and they have been knocked down in such a way that it's very hard to get up. And my hope is also that by sharing the story, it gives some inspiration or some hope or just some community to other people where it's happened to know that, they're not alone.
Have you been able to work through it?
It's a process. I mean, I am working through it, is what I would say. I've come a long way. You know, it's not linear. It's not like every day I just get a little better. And especially in this process of sharing, you know, what I also feel about sharing is that, uh, you know, in this world of healing, that the way I see it, whether it's, you know, whether we get hurt physically, whether we get hurt with something like this, is that when we get hurt, you know, we will only stay down for so long. Our body will do, our mind will do whatever it can do to a certain degree to get us back on our feet, to get us back into life, to get us doing. But we still carry around a lot of pain. And so that's why physically, you know, if you sprain an ankle, for example, you may still have a lot of tension and a lot of pain in your body that goes on maybe for the rest of your life, depending on other things you're doing to help yourself. And I think similarly, like this, you know, it's not like I could curl up in a ball forever. I need to make a living, or I have a daughter, I need to take care of my family. And so I'm going to heal to a certain degree. And then there becomes a choice, you know, do I want to bury it deep inside me? And that creates its own host of physical and mental issues and illnesses, you know. So every time I share, you know, it was so hard at the beginning to talk about this and share and to tell my family, to tell my close friends, to write the first article that I think you found. The way you found me was I wrote this really long story. I started a Substack, which is a online newsletter platform. And to every time I wrote that, it's like I felt like some piece of me was being like ripped out of me all over again. And that just hurts so much each time. But it does get a little easier each time. And really what I realize is that it's okay for it to hurt, you know, and it's like I'm pulling something back up out of me that is healthy to be released so that I can feel more like myself, you know, like you said, so that I can fully come back and then some and really use this as fuel to make something really positive out of something that was so negative, you know. That's my intention here.
I want to read something that Wired magazine said. As with romance scams and other highly personal and exploitive attacks, researchers say that pig butchering scams take an enormous psychological toll on victims, in addition to their financial toll. And then one of the researchers in this area said some of the stories you hear from victims, it eats you up. It eats you up really freaking bad. Shai, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I think it's a warning that we all need to be aware of, whether it's something that could happen to us, or, as you know, I think you correctly pointed out, it was your friends that you told the story to that warned you because they were a little bit aware of what was going on. So thank you. We're going to take a break for some messages and come back with Shai in 2 minutes, and we're going to talk a little bit about Thai massage as well. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour Saga 960. We're chatting tonight with Shai Plonski, who has gone public with his story of investing his life savings with someone he barely knew that he met through a dating app, and it was described as being slaughtered like a pig slaughtering scam. And Shai, you wrote about this in Substack, which is sort of this online newsletter. Tell me a little bit about, you know, why you did this and what you think the benefit of this is.
Sure. So I started this newsletter called Massage, Love, and Health. And so I can write this story and then kind of build upon it and not only share the story, but then share what the healing process is like, and basically just try to, as I mentioned before, take something that's just been so hard and turn it into something that can be, you know, positive and rewarding, and something that I can share with other people. And one thing I will say, as far as what to look out for, this is something I wanted to add, is that, you know, I mentioned that she was interested in having our getting to know each other only through talking, and really taking the conversation from Facebook to WhatsApp. And even though she was, said to be a local person, and that's a picture of her that she had shared with me. And you saw the other one in the sweatshirt, which is like that baggy sweatshirt look. And so, as far as like a big red flag, if someone is trying to get to know you, is if they want to take the conversation to WhatsApp instead of to a regular phone and texting with you that way. And also, of course, just how important it is to talk to people and really meet people in person, and clearly I didn't do that. And that is, probably the thing that I will kick myself on, for my whole life. And so at the same time, in writing about it and continuing to share the story, it's my own reflections about why did I do that? For example, why didn't I have enough wherewithal to first, tell other people in my life what was going on before I decided to get too invested in it? Why didn't I insist on meeting her before I would do something like that? It's like these are some of those deeper questions that I ask myself. And so on that Substack, I get into it to talk about it, to talk about, again, some things that we can all do to hopefully learn and reflect and grow.
Tell us
not only
if you tell us if you could about some of these vital lessons that you've learned.
Sure. So, yeah, so that's what I was saying. The number one is what to be aware of, and that if, they may say that they're local, but in fact, if they only want to get to know you through WhatsApp, then, just that's such a clear red flag. And just in general, not mixing money and romance, even if it, and if something seems like it's too good to be true, it basically, that adage is still true. And if someone wants to help you with making money, it's the kind of thing that probably would happen way deeper into a relationship after a few years, not someone that you're just starting to get to know and meeting online, as good and as real and as amazing as the connection starts to feel. And then I do have some links in that first article about where you go to report it. And so there is, like in the United States, which is where I'm based, like that FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center, where you would report it. You can report it with your local authorities. And then there is this organization called the Global Anti-Scam Org. And, I did reach out to them. They're the only ones that actually really responded to me. And they did share that essentially once they've taken as much money as they think they can take from you, they'll get the money out of that account within like 72 hours. So it's best to try and, once you recognize that it's a scam, get in touch with them right away, because after that 72 hours, your money is likely gone. And there is research, and there is, the FBI is definitely on it. And I have read some stories about catching people, and then once they've been caught, essentially trying to get the money back to the people who were scammed. So can't say it's totally hopeless, but I'm not really counting on that money coming back. And so another thing that I'm doing is I am having a GoFundMe to anyone who is, interested in financially supporting me in this rebuild. There is links on my Substack where people could link to it to do a financial contribution as well. But, like I said, just sharing and it is also really powerful, and it's helping me to rebuild my mind and my body and my spirit. So being able to just talk about this story and get the word out is also just incredibly helpful.
You talked as well on another article about pebbles in your shoes. Can you tell me about what pebbles in your shoes are?
Sure. So, what I mean about pebbles in your shoes is, this is actually a quote from Muhammad Ali. And it's not the mountain to climb that wears you out, it's the pebbles in your shoes. And so when we want to face challenges and we want to transform, we want to take on new projects, we want to grow something and bring something new into the world, what so often holds us back is not the challenge itself, but it's the stories in our own mind, of our own limitations, let's say, of our own fears, of our own doubts and worries that we hold in us. And those would be more like the pebbles in our shoes. And for me, that's what I realized was played such a big part in me. Just, it's like a blinder of not seeing just how important it would be to, meet the person in person before investing money, or telling my family. It's like my own fears and doubts and worries and pride that got in the way of me doing these things in a better way. And so that's why I think recognizing where we have these things clouding our judgment or clouding our way in life really stops us from growing in all the ways that we're really capable of. And yeah, go ahead.
Go, please continue.
Sure. So for me, part of how I try to take something really positive from this experience is, now that I've become more aware of some of those pebbles in my shoes, just by becoming more aware of them and feeling it, and maybe writing about it or meditating, or, if you have a therapist, talking to someone about it, or close friends, or journaling in some kind of way, by bringing it all up to the surface, and here I am talking about it, then the power that these things have on you really start to diminish and have an opportunity to be released, so that you can really then make way for those bigger challenges, for those inspirations, for those next things that you want to do and make an impact in the world and in your life.
You said some of the ways that people can work on it would be talk therapy, journaling, art, meditating, coaching.
Yeah, exactly. So these are all different things that, these are all ways of slowing down, essentially, and getting to know yourself in a more profound, and I think in a deeper way, to see what lives in the shadows. That there are aspects of our personality, there's aspects of ourselves, maybe it's through trauma and past events in our life, or not getting the things that we thought we might get at different times in our life, and that create and that just don't get seen. And so, it's like we're always plowing forward, and we're working hard, and we're doing whatever we can do to make a living, and support our family and make a contribution in the world. And that there may be parts of us that are not getting seen, from old things that have happened. And by slowing down and getting to know these parts of ourselves, I really think it is one of the important things that we can do to see ourselves more, to become, more well-rounded, and make ourselves more available to just healing, and then being healthier and showing up even better in our lives.
What is shadow self or shadow work? You talk about this in your Substack article. What's shadow self and shadow work?
So, I mean, essentially, your shadow self is like a part of you that lives in the shadows. And it is like a part of you that is not seen, because, externally, I want to be seen as this massage teacher, as this accomplished massage teacher, as a yogi, as a great father, as someone who's doing really, my best in the world every day. And in a lot of ways, these things are true. And then but there may be parts of you and parts of me that live in the shadows, that that I don't want to acknowledge about myself, like I have my fears, and I have my doubts, and I have my worries about my own self-worth, or I have my own inner critic about, not being good enough in some kind of way. And that's the kind of stuff that may live in the shadows. And so, it is to bring that, when we can bring that more into our awareness, and make space for that, and honor all of who we are, that I think we become more well-rounded people. And so that is the kind of work that
So
happens.
when you say honoring our shadow self, what do you mean? Like, is it just realizing what it is, or how do you honor your shadow self?
Sure. So, it is realizing that we have these parts of ourselves, without necessarily trying to change it, or change, without trying to change it in some kind of forceful way, or wish that we don't have this kind of these parts to ourselves. And so that's what I mean by honoring it. But I do think that just by recognizing these areas of our own personality, we will change. We do naturally change if you just try not to force that kind of change. And I know it sounds kind of, maybe it's complicated or cryptic, but it really, I don't know that it is. It's like if you want to release some of your old story and some of these fears and some of these things that really live deep inside you, it's just like when like I have a daughter, right? And she may come to me with some kind of problem that she has. And it's like before we can start fixing the problem, quote unquote, fixing it, it's just sometimes you just need to give my daughter a hug and hold her and let her know, like, I've got you and I see you and you're already really great exactly the way you are. And so honoring that shadow self is basically that, it's that same kind of love and respect and support you might have for someone outside of you to offer that inside of you before you then get into what you might change about yourself.
It's interesting. It sounds like you've come to this conclusion / realization that the pebbles in your shoes, that the shadows were a craving, and you talk about it a little bit in your article, to have those anniversaries, those parties, those times with a partner, a loved one that you don't have right now and that you crave. And so therefore maybe you were a little bit immature or a little bit too open to the relationship and therefore too trusting too quickly, too early. And therefore made a mistake, and that what you've got to do is understand that, and be more wary of relationships, I guess, before you start investing with them.
Exactly, and just have more boundaries. And as much as I want to have an amazing relationship with someone and get to a certain kind of financial comfort that I'm yearning for, it's like there's no shortcuts in life, and it is to just have those wishes, do the right things, try to meet the right people, and do the right things financially, and in my business, and have healthy boundaries, and just make sure that it really is real.
You end your article with some things that we can do if we want to help you on this journey. Can you read this and tell us a little bit about one of the things we can do?
Sure. So amongst the things that you could do if people are interested to help me on my rebuilding journey, it is to come to my Substack and read the articles that I've written and share them. And Substack both has like a free version and a paid version, so you could become either. I also have a GoFundMe, which is a way to give like financial contribution if you feel moved to, which certainly helps to support me in the work that I'm doing, not only on a personal level but on a professional level. So as we talked about, I'm a Thai yoga massage teacher, and I do work in a lot of ways to try to I teach this massage, and I coach and I mentor students, and this financial setback has been really huge and has really been a big impact on my ability to work. So any opportunity, or that if people are willing to go to that GoFundMe and make a contribution, is also very helpful. But then also just, bringing out more love and support in the world for ourselves and our own journey, having more empathy for people in their own lives. I mean, all of it is all ways that can be really helpful. Yeah. So you have there a link to the GoFundMe. So thank you for bringing that up.
Shai, thank you so much for sharing this unbelievable story with us. I'm going to take a final break and come back, and I'm going to ask you to tell me, if you could, about the future and about you say your three things that you believe in are massage, love, and health, and maybe a little bit about Thai massage, just to finish off our conversation, if we could. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be back in just 2 minutes. Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. We've been having a really worrisome an interesting and heartbreaking conversation with Shai Plonski about how he was subject to this pig butt butchering scam on the internet, where he met someone on a dating site. They got him to invest in a cryptocurrency exchange, took all of his life savings, and then he couldn't get it back. And now he's trying to rebuild his life. And thank you, Shai, for sharing the story. And I encourage people to check out your Substack articles about it, and also the link that's in there to your GoFundMe page. But why don't we take the last couple of minutes today and talk about, your day job? And you talk about massage, love, and health as being the critical things that you believe in, and Thai massage is your specialty. What the heck is Thai massage, and how is it different than regular massage?
Sure. So Thai massage is essentially, it's a combination of assisted stretching, massage, and energy work kind of all mixed together. And so on the receiving end, a person may get all kinds of deep tension released and healthy movement in their body, so that they end up feeling both revitalized and relaxed in such a deep way, and just healed from so many different things. And then if you're the giver of the massage, it really is a moving meditation. And it's like taking this quality of love and compassion and turning that into a massage. So every time you give a massage, you feel inspired, you feel healthier, you feel stronger. And that makes it such a mutually beneficial experience. So because of that, I love this massage. I think it is actually really a life-changing experience for people. And I've been teaching it all over the world for the last 20 years, and I've written like 4 books about it. And I am based in California, but I also teach. I have taught in Toronto. I started my school in Toronto many years ago, and I do come there from time to time. I teach at the Kripalu Center, which is an amazing retreat center, and one of the biggest in the world actually for yoga and health. I'll be there in August teaching a couples retreat. And when you do Thai massage with loved ones, so it's not only for professionals who want to get trained, and that's certainly one thing that I do, but it's also for families and for couples. And when you do this with someone that you care about and love, and you have this like superpower in your hands, because you really can, like in a weekend, you can learn a full 60-minute massage and have like the most amazing date nights, with your loved ones, or share it with your kids, or share it with your parents, share it with people who are close to you. And it can completely change your body. It can completely change your day and your relationship. So I've written a book called Couples Time Massage. Recently, it was my most recent Amazon bestseller. And my next classes are going to be at the Kripalu Center, August 11th to the 13th, where I'll be teaching this. And it's a beautiful experience.
If I or someone listening wants to sign up for that session, how do they do that?
So if you go to kripalu.org, that's KRIPALU.org, and you just look up my name, Shai Plonski, or you look up couples Thai massage, you'll be able to find it there. And of course, you can always reach out to me, whether it's on my blog or, my website is stilllightcenter.com. And you can learn all about Thai massage there. And then you can learn all about me and just send me an email. I'll be happy to help everyone who's interested. I also have a YouTube channel, and I've posted hundreds of videos about Thai massage there. So there's all kinds of great ways to learn about Thai massage by looking me up on YouTube as well.
Your salutation on your website is the creative force of love is the essence of life. Let's dig into some of the many ways it shows up to help teach us how to live an inspired life. That's true no matter your passions. 3 of mine include massage, love, and health. It's such a shame that it happened to such a, wonderful human being as yourself. I feel an incredible amount of empathy for you in that regard. But at the same time, maybe it's because you're such a nice guy that it happened to you, which is bad, because sometimes bad things happen to people that are empathetic and nice, because you are so loving, because you are such a creative force. And I guess maybe that means that you're more accepting of others. And I I guess that's a lesson for all of us that we have to be wary, particularly online. We have to be wary of scams. I never knew about this pig butchering scam until I read your Substack a couple of weeks ago. And so thank you very, very much for making it public, because I think it's something that we need to be aware in these world of online, whatever it is, not just dating, but just our presences online. People contact us on a regular basis. I get these foreign calls, several times a day from people that I have no idea where they're coming from. So, Shai, I'm sorry this happened to you. All the best, but thank you for making us all aware of it.
Thank you, Brian, really so much. It's been great talking to you and great sharing this with everyone who's listening. Thank you, everyone. And thanks for everything you just shared. I appreciate it.
That's our show for tonight, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I remind you, I'm on every Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock on 960 AM. You can stream me online, even from California, at www.saga960am.ca. Good night, everybody. Thanks, Shai. Good luck.